What's up? Welcome into another round of The Hop, the craft beer podcast where we make beer fun, informative, inclusive, and entertaining. I am your co-host, Stephen Humes, along with Gabriel Apria.
Hello. How are we doing, everyone? Welcome in another great Thirsty Thursday. Some craft beer, some fun, some laughs. Oh boy, we've got it all. And we're finally going somewhere that I went recently that Stephen must go to. The next time I go, I'm bringing you. I'm putting you in my suitcase and we're freaking going. We're going to NOLA. Who dat? We are going to New Orleans, Louisiana. I am so excited. If you followed us along on the socials, you might have an idea that we are doing Urban South Brewery. Urban South, beautiful New Orleans and Houston, Texas staple. They are the largest craft brewery in Louisiana. We got their beers. We have special beers you may not have heard of, beers you may not have seen, and we are excited. Thank you for joining us. Oh my God, it's Christmas morning.
We're going to NOLA. We're going to Louisiana for the first time on The Hop. We're expanding our state list. And yeah, we're doing all special beers out of their circus lineup. We're going to the circus, baby. Yeah, that was Brittany, bitch. Ooh! Yes, it was. Sometimes.
Brittany, what you doing here, girl?
Sometimes I like to surprise Gabe with a new drop.
Wow.
We're going to the circus.
I'm all for it.
Get these off my head. So this is gonna be a wild episode. I am excited and scared, as Sondheim said, for what's to come. So we're gonna dive into it. First, we're gonna do the thing that we do on every episode. And Gabe, I'm not looking forward to this moment because this is where I have to say it, and I don't want to say it.
Yeah, it's official now, isn't it?
I don't want to say it, but I have to tell you to follow us on. It doesn't want to come out of my mouth. Follow us on X.
It just sounds like an ex-girl. Like it sounds like we're talking about an ex-girlfriend, so it's weird.
It's so stupid. What do you do? It's a verb. It's in the dictionary. You tweet. You know why you tweet? Because it's Twitter. It's a bird. It's not an X. Bro, did you see this X thread? No, I'm sorry. It's Twitter. No. And as an act of protest and an act of laziness, we will not be changing our graphics. It will continue to be the bird on our social media. But whatever, follow us at the HO Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram and Threads. You know what? Let's make Threads a thing, and then Twitter can die.
There it is.
You can also follow our personals at Shakespeareist is me. Gabe is at Gabe67. Find us on YouTube. Find us. You can subscribe to us. Click the bell over there. You'll get notified when episodes go live. Comment, do all the things. And wherever you listen, if you could go ahead and give us a rate and review, if your podcast platform of choice allows you to do it, we really appreciate it. It helps us make the show better for you, and that's good for you. I mean, if our show's better and you listen to it, then that's a net positive across the board. Also, tell your friends, tell your family, help spread the word and grow the hop community. Finally, if you have requests or suggestions for the show or a brewery you'd like us to visit, a state we haven't been to, mayhaps, you can send us an email. We are thehopod@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you very quickly.
Let us know what breweries to hit up next. Let us know what breweries to repeat. Let us know if you've been to New Orleans or the South and you are an expert in eating crawfish. Because let me tell you something, listeners. It's pretty hard. You want to talk about working for your meal, you're going to work for your meal. But I did it. I ate it. We went on YouTube and we figured out how to do it and eat it. Mwah, chef's kiss. The first time I ever ate crawfish was at this brewery. So it's coming full circle. But we are here for you guys.
All right, let's get into the news.
Beer news.
So summer is in full swing, obviously, and we continue to see plenty of beers being released around that theme. Lots of lagers, lime lagers, things like that. Breweries are still cranking them out, but also that means Oktoberfest is just around the corner. And yes, those beers are starting to be released already. We also have our very first pumpkin ale release of the season. Let's give that.
Touchdown!
Let's get Joe involved.
Unbelievable!
The first one of the year goes to NOLA Brewing Company out of Charlotte, North Carolina. They're gorgeous, like gourd, like a pumpkin. That's good. That's good. It took home the gold at the 2018 and 2020 Gabe. So,
Gabe with an F.
I'm trying to make the f part like sloppier and sloppier every time.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Real pumpkin puree, brown sugar, ginger root, hand cracked allspice cloves, and cardamom. Sounds delightful. We love pumpkin beers, so they're coming out. Also, new CEO taking over at Beam Suntory and a new president at Rogue Ales. Not big news, but good luck in your job. Well, yeah, give it up for those people.
My name is Mr. Rogue, and I approve this message.
All right, we wanted to just give an update briefly on the Anchor situation. So Anchor, we discussed on our last episode, is shutting down, but it has recently been reported that employees there, the unionized employees of Anchor, are attempting to or looking at if they could be the ones purchasing the brewery and basically save it, which would be awesome. It's worth keeping up on this story on VinePair. We're in your feeds every 2 weeks, but Dave Infante, writer for both Brewbound and VinePair, is doing some good work on this front, and he's keeping tabs on the situation. As of now, no major plans to change it, but some pitches have come out, both from the employees and from local entrepreneurs. They floated ideas like a website teasing future crowdfunding opportunities. They pitched a reality show about bringing the brewery back to life. Apparently, working title on that is How Hard It Could Be. We'll workshop it.
Pretty hard. Let me tell you something. It's a business.
Basically, the employees sent a brief letter to Sapporo USA and the Anchor Brewing Union and their business agents, and just sort of are looking at whether there's an opportunity there for them to be the ones to purchase the brewery. If that were to happen, which is complete speculation, but it would be dope for several reasons. One, it would keep the brewery alive, and two, it would take it out of the hands of Sapporo. So that would be awesome. But, like I said, as of right now, the situation remains that the brewery is going to be sold for parts and shut down. So we'll keep you posted.
This is where, the billionaires from Shark Tank need to step up to the plate and just buy the damn place and then keep it going. Y'all can afford it.
Hi, Sharks. Ever had a steam beer?
Hi, Sharks. My name is Joe Schmo, and I'm looking for a $100,000 investment for 5% of my company.
We love Shark Tank, but we hate the pitches. We hate the performance art part.
There was one pitch by two women. Mark Cuban bought the entire company. There was one pitch by two women, and they told them, they were like, that's the best bad theater we've ever seen. They had fun with it. But everyone else, it's like, do you want to go to Spain? Or whatever the hell it's just like, shut up, man.
I don't blame the people because, they're not actors. And, obviously it's part of the shtick of the show. We get it. But I'd rather just put the cameras in a boardroom and let them have a business meeting, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, whatever. Anyway, moving right along, news and notes. Anheuser-Busch, our best friends. Not really. They're screwing up again. They have announced some job cuts. Corporate restructuring, as they're calling it, that will see the world's largest beer manufacturer cut. It looks like they're cutting just under 2% of its U.S. workforce. It appears that the layoffs are focused more on the managerial executive level and won't affect frontline workers, warehouse staff, drivers, things of that nature. However, according to Brewbound, the company cut around 380 jobs. So you never want to see that from any sort of level. Obviously, we want to keep the workforce moving and a going. And, there are some high level execs that, sometimes they need to be put in their place or they need to move on. But again, we don't know all the details. We just know about the job cuts and about what is going on. The company is still struggling and still facing a little bit of backlash regarding the recent partnership with Dylan Mulvaney. something we have talked about in length in other various episodes. Go back a few and listen, or do some Googling to see what that is all about. We don't have all the time in the world to talk about it, but that is a thing that is happening. Unfortunately, we never want to see jobs lost, but it is a thing that is happening, and we wanted to report on it. When we have more info, we will let y'all know.
Yeah, and read the Dylan Mulvaney thing. We kind of have made a concerted effort to stop paying attention to that, but it is still affecting Anheuser-Busch. They're still getting the backlash, and as a result, other companies such as Ball Corporation, which makes the cans, is also seeing a decline in their sales. So it's definitely a major thing that continues to be a thing, which shouldn't be a
effect,
thing,
honestly.
Yeah, but like Gabe said, we've talked about it. You can go back a few episodes, and we did discuss it. So that's there for your listening pleasure.
Yeah.
For us, we got to go to the circus. Gabe, you ready to go down the NOLA?
Dude, bring me back. Beignets in the courtyard. Oh, take me back. I've got a toast. This is a poem called Going Home, New Orleans by Cheryl St. Germain. Got to get some classic, authentic New Orleans style music.
Brass band. Yeah, baby.
Some slow evenings when the light hangs late and stubborn in the sky, gives itself up to darkness slowly and deliberately, slow cloud after slow cloud. Slowness enters me like something familiar, and it feels like going home. It's all there in the disappearing light, all the evenings of slow sky and slow loving, slow boats on sluggish bayous, the thick middle trees with the slow-sounding names, oak, mimosa, pecan, magnolia, the slow tree sap that sticks in your hair while you lie with the trees, and the maple syrup and pancakes and grits, the butter melting. Slowly into and down the sides like sweat beading between breasts of slow-eyed strippers, and the slow-throated blues that floats over the city like fog. And the slow river that cradles it all, and the chicory coffee that cuts through it all, slow boiled and black as dirt, and the slow dreams and the slow healing wounds and the slow smoke of it all slipping out, ballooning into the sky. Slow, deliberate, and magnificent.
Oh, that was so much longer than the drop, but I liked it.
Yeah, sorry about that. Didn't time it right,
I saw it getting to the end. I was like, well, you know what? Let's let it land in silence. It's okay. Strippers, huh?
Strippers, huh? Strippers.
Nice. All right, Gabe, are you ready to go to the circus?
Who dat? Let's go.
I just wanted to hit that one more. Just wanted one more of those. Okay, here we go.
We have to play that 5 more times.
Okay. All right, I'm going first, and we're just gonna. I said I was excited and scared, and we're just gonna rip this Band-Aid off, and we're just gonna do it. So, for context, this is a series that they did. They're all circus-themed beers, and it's part of the 7th anniversary of the brewery, or the 3rd anniversary of their Houston location. We'll discuss that later. So they collabed with a bunch of different breweries. So every one of the beers in the series, I believe there's 8 of them. Yeah. So there's 8 of them, and every beer is a collaboration with a different brewery. And as we mentioned, they're all circus themed. The can art reflects that. I am starting us off with the Fire Eater Mango Salsa Lager. This is a collaboration with Martin House Brewing. Martin House Brewing is a brewery out of Fort Worth, Texas, known for hyper experimental brews. And this is no exception. The description I was able to find is that it's a thick-bodied, juicy lager combining rich mango sweetness with a slightly smoky tomato salsa, notes of spicy green chili taking it to full-on Bloody Mary. Suspend your disbelief as you would when watching The Fire Eater.
Thoughts?
Now,
I'm so sorry I did this to you.
Yeah, I had no say in picking this beer. I had no say in what was sent to me. I will say, like, reading the can, you read, like, mango salsa, I focus on the mango part, and I think like, I guess my head went to mango habanero, and I was like, delightful. Then I did the research. I've never had a Bloody Mary. I hate tomatoes. I hate Michelada. So, grain of salt with this beer. We're not going to judge the brewery solely on it, but I also think that it's good for me to try something like Gabe likes to say a lot. We like the weird stuff. We like something that's going to twist our mind and be something totally different. This is not a sour, so it's a lager. So that makes it interesting to me.
When you get this beer, spoiler alert, I had it at the brewery, which is why I'm not drinking it, because I wanted Stephen to
Oh, so you've had it before.
I have had this. When you get this at the brewery, there is, I forget the name of it, the spicy salt around the rim of the glass. Tagine. They serve it with tagine on the rim of the glass. I got it in a flight. I didn't really get a lot of tomato, to be honest with you. I got like the flavors and the little bit of spicy kick, which is why I thought you would like it. Okay. And then, we did the research and I was like, oh crap. Like, I hope he doesn't dislike this beer, because it was very good, but.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better that you've taste tested it before, because I was reading about it and I don't understand Michelada. Michelada, if you're not familiar, it's basically a beer cocktail. I see it a lot out here because like I was just at the Dodgers game, and they sell like plastic cups with like the Michelada mix in the bottom so that you can pour a beer on top of it and you've got yourself a Michelada. It's very big in the Latinx community and the Mexican American community, and but it's very often made with like Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire sauce, however you say that, or clamato juice.
I think it's just Worcester. Worcestershire. Yeah, they got to rename that thing.
Or clamato juice, which is tomato juice mixed with clam broth, which makes me gag just saying it. So anyway, the brewery does say this spicy collab packs the heat with Michelada and refreshing mango and lime. Let me stop shit talking before I even touch it. We'll see. It's 4.4% ABV. Untapped has it at 3.08. No information from Beer Advocate. Here it is in the glass. It is a dark kind of, it's got a slight reddish hue to it, but it's a dark amber color. On the SRM chart, if you're looking at that, I would put it around an 11. It's very thick looking. It's not hazy. It looks more like juice. I don't know what else. I mean, it's got stuff floating in it, like sediment that looks like similar to tagine, like those spices. Lots of bubbles coming up from the bottom. It poured with a pretty thick, very fizzy cap that was about an inch thick. It was pretty intense, but not much retention at all, not much lacing to speak of. And I can delay this no longer. I shall now sniff the beer.
Stephen, get into it. I'm telling you, man. It was good at the brewery. To be completely honest, the beer I had a little bit more of a reddish hue to it. So there is a chance that I had a different version of this beer, but I definitely had like the OG version. Maybe not this one specifically, but I definitely like had this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So on the nose, lime for sure. Definitely getting the lime that they promised. Celery. Oh. I don't know that I get a lot of tomato, but definitely something vegetal that I would classify as celery. That's what it makes me think of. There's a slight spiciness. There's maybe some other citrus in there. It doesn't smell juicy. What's interesting, though, is it being a lager, it definitely doesn't have any of that like straw or hay. It doesn't have any of the sort of malty sweetness that you often see with a lager. It's definitely buried by the adjuncts. So we got 4 different beers to do, and I'm just going to drink it, and we'll see what happens.
Amen.
God, Jesus, take the wheel.
Take the wheel. This brewery was amazing. As you may or may not know, I was at the New Orleans location. We started with drinking 4 beers as a flight outside. We got a crawfish boil as our meal outside of the brewery. They had them ready to go. One of the brewery workers was passing out the crawfish. We looked up on YouTube how to eat it. You got to twist the tail, and then it's a little bite. It was delicious. But yeah, I do remember having this. It had the tagine on the side. It was definitely the first beer I started with. And I found it to be weird and crazy. And I hope that you at least like some of it and that you're not just like forcing it down. Damn it. My bad.
Wow. No, this is not a reflection of you. I'm very glad you sent me this, because it's interesting, but I do not like it. I don't know how else to say it. I want to be fair to the brewery, and this is experimental and weird. I just don't think it has enough heat for it to be considered like fire breather. Like, I think, I wish it was leaning more into the chili pepper and the mango. I mean, there's not a lot of mango. I get a lot of lime. I get a lot of some sort of spices, like cumin maybe. It's very savory. It's very like, I guess if I was eating it with crawfish, and not thinking of it as a beer. I mean, it tastes very much like a beer cocktail. It tastes like what it says it is in the description. Now, the can says that it's a mango salsa lager. If you go online, you find all this stuff about Michelada, and if you think of it in that way, I suppose it's delivering on it. And if I saw Michelada on the can, I know myself, and I wouldn't order it because I hate tomatoes. I don't want to say this.
You can,
but I'm going to say it. I have to say it. We released a hilarious video a couple years ago, I'd say, where we tasted a tomato sour. If given a can,
I still have nightmares from that day.
If given a can of that,
oh God,
and a can of this,
really?
I would probably go with that. It's just,
oh man,
it's very okay. Let me try it. So the spices, the veggie. I give you the flavors, the mouthfeel. It's very highly carbonated. It's zingy. I think it's a little off-putting to how. I think that tomato sour that we had from Four Quarters, which, to be clear, was awful. At least it was a sour. So the acidity, I mean, it was very acidic because tomatoes are already acidic, and it was a sour. It was a lot, but at least the acidity made sense. This is like masquerading as a lager, but I don't know. Like, unless you like Micheladas, I just can't see anybody that's like, give me a lager. Like,
give me a Michelada.
Oh, I am sorry to start us off on this note, but that's why I wanted to go first, because I started to get a sense, and I was very nervous, and then I poured it and I smelled it, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. I will say though, like, you have your opinions and they're totally valid, but that zero gravity beer, I have never in all my days had something like that. I'm so bummed that I wasn't at the brewery with you, so we couldn't drink this together, because I'm now fascinated. Like, maybe it was different on tap, it was fresher, maybe it's the same thing and we just have different opinions, which is also totally valid. Yeah, like, I think it was a little redder for me, so it might have been a different version, but I enjoyed it. I liked it in a flight, I will say. Maybe you need tahini. Do you have tahini in your house? Can you go get some?
Maybe I need the tahini. Like, seriously, the back end, like the flavor that's in my mouth right now, having not had a sip in a couple of minutes, right, is, I can only describe it as like, it's like the flavor that lingers after like chicken noodle soup or something. It's so savory. Yeah. It's like,
damn it.
It just is so weird.
Well, I sent you a weird. We each have a weird one and then like a sort of regular one. So we're starting with the weird. And so,
and
like,
hats off, what? A for effort. Hats off for the creativity. And this is the thing that, like I said, Martin House, they're out of Fort Worth, Texas. They're kind of known for their super experimental beers, so this is right in their wheelhouse. A swing and a miss from old Stephen, but here's the thing. I'm still going to finish it because I'm a fucking professional.
All right.
Yeah. So
he's going to be like plugging his nose while he says that. All right. Now let's get even weirder. So I picked up what I thought to be something very different and very interesting. And I found out that like beer is a science. So as you can see, if you're on YouTube, this is what happened to my can.
Oh boy.
It basically puffed up because of the contents inside. I have the Juggling Clown Ice Cream Sour. Ice Cream Sour. If you have a beer like this, do yourself a favor. Throw it in the fridge immediately. Because mine was out of the fridge with all my other cases and warehouse full of beer. I saw this pop up. I threw it in the fridge immediately. I did get to open it. It is open. This is what she looks like. Look at that clown. I got it open, but this one, because of just the ingredients and the compactness and the chemicals, quote unquote, it popped the top, but here we are. It is 6.6%. No IBUs. Beer Advocate has yet to review it. Untapped gave it a 4.11 on the SRM chart.
My God.
It looks like a smoothie, and I've read reviews that it's smoothie style. This is a league of its own. It's got like a very pinkish, orangey color to it. On the SRM chart, it's a league of its own. It's not even on the chart. It's very, very different.
It's red. I would highly encourage you. This is why we have a YouTube channel. Check us out on YouTube so that you can see what we're talking about. Because these beers, I mean, that even more so than mine, are definitely standouts to look at in a glass.
This beer is weird. The quote from the brewery says, "It wouldn't be our birthday without some cake." We had fun clowning around with our friends at Mortalis Brewing on this birthday cake ice cream sour topped with loads of fresh raspberries. This is brewed in collaboration with Mortalis Brewing. They are out of Avon, New York. They are also into the weirdish things, and they helped make this beer. On the nose, it is tart. It is fruity, cotton candy, raspberry. Raspberry is what we're going to get off of this bad boy.
Reminds me a lot of, we did an episode on Prairie Artisanal Ales a few weeks ago. That was a brewery out of Oklahoma. And they had we had a whole bunch like this. We had a Neapolitan Squeeze. We had the Rainbow Sherbet. This reminds me of that.
Is it Prairie Artisan Ales?
Yep, you are correct.
We keep saying artisanal. Where? Because that's from
we've had
Interborough
or Artisanal Brew Works we had on the show. Yeah. I was just going to gloss over it, but you definitely just straight up called me out. So
yeah, we have to get it right.
Grimm is artisanal.
Yeah. But yeah, I have an ice cream sour. So I'm going to be feeling some type of way, but it smells like cotton candy. It smells like Skittles almost. Steven, best Skittle? Remind the listeners.
Red Skittle. Listen to our last episode. We broke down all the best fruit candies.
Thank you very much. We're in agreement. But yeah, it's a smoothie style. It kind of looks like ice cream. The head looks like, you know how when you make a milkshake and you maybe squirt like whipped cream on top? I'm trying
it's frothy.
How do I show this on camera? Like, it's kind of hard to see, but maybe after I sip it, you can kind of see that, right?
You can see it. Yeah, it's got some retention,
it's like
and
whipped cream that like settled into the milkshake, so it's like a little bubbly. It looks like a little cloud.
The one thing I was concerned about with the way your can kind of burst was that it would be flat, because flavor wise, I mean, store your beers well, people. We drink a lot of beer. Sometimes some stuff doesn't make the fridge, but
there wasn't room.
But that's the one concern. So as long as the carbonation is there, and I can already tell from the head and what you're looking at there that the carbonation should be fine. So enjoy.
Bon voyage. Who dat?
While he drinks that, I'm going to start talking about the brewery, because we're in a 4 beer situation here. And so Urban South, obviously out of NOLA, largest craft brewery in NOLA. To be fair, it was founded by Jacob Landry and his friend. Jacob's a beer connoisseur. He spent time traveling Europe, tasting Belgian ales, English ales, German lagers, all that stuff. And he came home and said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a mango salsa lager.
I'm going to piss off those guys on the hop.
As I drink it more, I'm just like, I'm grasping onto the lime flavor for dear life. And I'm just like, don't let go, Jack. Don't let go. Because that's what keeps...
It's one way to
we
go.
mentioned it. These beers are a 7th anniversary for the brewery, and they were released kind of in the past couple months, I guess, starting around like March, April, May.
They came out April 8th, I believe.
Okay. So they are, special beers that you can't really get. I mean, you can get a couple of these still on tap, but they're definitely of the moment. And
yes,
the Houston location, they opened a satellite experimental, they call it their research and development brewery in Houston. It's also known as Urban South HTX. If you're watching on YouTube, the building behind me is the Houston location because that's where my beers originated. And Gabe is inside the taproom in NOLA. So Houston's been open for 3 years. It's their 3-year anniversary. It's NOLA's 7th anniversary, and we're at the circus. Brittany? Yeah. Can we get sued by Britney Spears? That's the question of the day.
Honestly, any press is good press. I would love
How's that
that.
beer, Gabe?
It's very good. Before I talk about the beer, I just want to say very quickly. So I was fortunate enough to go to the Louisiana location. Airport hangar, enormous place. One side is like an old-fashioned trailer that you can like go and take pictures in front of. They have like a little kiddie pool you can put on the floaties and like take a fun photo. They've got the if you're on YouTube, they've got the bar right here, all the beers there, picnic tables galore. You can sit wherever you like. And on the other side, they had local vendors come in and sell their stuff. They had beers all on the wall. Just an enormous, enormous place. They had live music. They had a local band come in and play jazz and just freaking kill it. The only problem with this place is it is hot as hell in New Orleans. So it was very humid. So it forces you to drink beer. But other than that, this place was amazing. We had so much fun. It was like one of the first things we did. And like I said, we had crawfish. They were serving a crawfish boil outside of the brewery at like a food truck sort of thing. So for $15, they handed you 2 pounds of crawfish in one container with a bunch of fixins. It was delicious. This beer, I am very happy to report that the carbonation is still there. Despite what the can looks like, she's a winner. She's still here. It is carbonated very nicely. It is very funky and tart, and it's clearly a sour. Raspberry on raspberry, yes, 112%. It's very sweet. It's sour-y. I wouldn't say funky. I would say tart. Raspberry is kind of the only thing I'm getting, to be quite honest with you. It is very fun. The head retention does give off like a dessert kind of vibe. Like it's almost kind of like you're drinking a meal in a way, like when the ice cream melts just a little bit and you're like kind of drinking it. It is very good. It's very different. It's very weird. It's very experimental. If you want the weird stuff, go for it. If you like the sours, if you like the ice cream, go for it. If you like raspberry, go for it. If you're just a classic IPA drinker, don't go for it. You're not going to like this. But I wanted something weird. I wanted something different. Juggling Clown Ice Cream Sour is where it is at. Mortalis Brewing, thank you for the collab. This is literally a smoothie in a glass, but I don't care. It's different, but it's got fun vibes to it, and I'm very glad I got it. Like I said, if you buy this, just throw it in the fridge right away. I think because it's ice cream and because it's sour, those two things just didn't mix maybe in the heat of my apartment. I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And, obviously beer is meant to be stored cold, served cold, drank cold. Like, it's not a big deal. Some people get very, and this is where our show, I think, we try to take the beer nerd out of it, even though we are clearly beer nerds. And people have very specific rules about if once the beer is cold, it can never not be cold. And if it's not, look, we get it. But like, there's not everybody has there's real life happens. You know what I mean? And sometimes,
sometimes you don't have room in the fridge. Sometimes, I have so much beer in the fridge that there are some times where I'm like, you know what? We're not going to have this episode up and running right away. So I have to put it to the side.
Yeah, it happens. So as long as the beer is good and not bad, you're in good shape. And for our purposes, if I was drinking I was fairly harsh on the beer I drank. So if it was out of date and it was bad, I wouldn't say those things because I'd blame the storing of the beer and not the brewing. Like if you're going to critique it, but in your case, it sounds like you like it. It sounds like it's held up, and
it has held up. I do get the carbonation. It's just weird as hell, but sometimes let's get weird. Normal is boring.
Agreed. And I'm going to keep that party rolling with my next beer to keep us moving. And my next beer is going to take me into the IPA world, sort of. It's a fruited sour IPA, and this is the Snake Charmer IPA. It is a collaboration with Weld Works Brewing, which is a powerhouse brewery out of Greeley, Colorado. This is the can, if you're on YouTube, doesn't show up that great due to the green screen, but it's a Snake Charmer lady doing her Snake Charmer things with a big, crazy snake with fun, crazy eyes. It's 6.1% ABV. Untapped has it at 3.62, and the brewery described it as a charming combination of grapefruit and raspberry meeting Citra and Azacca hops. And from elsewhere on the internet, bringing together the best of both worlds, this bright, hoppy crusher sports flavors of citrus, lemon, melon, and grapefruit with a zingy, sour edge. Medium-bodied with a balanced hazy, this refreshing beer has a little sherbety spark, playing off the skills of Colorado's IPA meisters, Weldworks. Here it is in the glass, drinking out of a Tiku glass. SRM chart, I would put it around a 10 or 11. It is similar color to the last one, amber, but it's less hazy. It's more opaque. It poured with a fairly decent cap, but not much retention or lacing. Again, it's pretty still in the glass. It just kind of like sits there. Given that it's in a Tiku glass and whatnot, it almost looks more like wine. Not color-wise, but just the way it sits in the glass. It's just not a lot of carbonation happening there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to smell it now.
It sounds really cool. I've read reviews online that people really liked this one. Sour IPA. I think that might be a first for this show. Don't remember the last time one of us had a sour IPA.
You smell it, and the citrus is there, but it's definitely very sweet. You get a lot of the berries, and raspberry comes through a lot. Maybe a little strawberry, some tropical qualities, some mango for sure.
Nice.
In addition to some citrus, but the hops are definitely present. Where I think on a lot of sours, what we tend to focus on is the adjuncts that are in there, the yeast esters and stuff like that. I mean, this has a little bit of that. But it's just a really interesting marriage of the two. It really is. You get a hop bomb up front. You get all of those citrus qualities that come with the hop flower, but you also have some astringency or some yeast estering going on underneath it that tells you it's going to be sour. So it's a nice explosion of two different worlds coming together on the nose.
That's what we need in this world.
And I will drink it now. Urban South. Who dat, as they say.
Who dat? The saying of the brewery is savor the South. It's always a party when you're there. I just want to read a very quick quote by the founder and president, Jacob Landry. Our vision is to build an enduring company that embodies the values and traditions of the Urban South. We seek to be strong community partners and produce world-class beer. Jacob is originally from the South. I believe he's from a different part of Louisiana, but he is from there. So he is born and bred. He knows the spices. He knows the flavoring profile of the South and whatnot. And they're doing really great work. I had a great time at the brewery. I wish I could. I would love nothing more than to take you, Stephen. We would have a very good time listening to music, sweating in the heat, and drinking some beer about it.
Sounds like a dream day. If we do go together, I'll tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not going to get these two beers in a flight because they are weird back to back. But this beer,
I would assume these wouldn't probably work in a normal like if you're going to do a flight, you have to do those two with like two other of these 7th anniversary beers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta balance it out. These are both very weird in their own right. This one's good. It's a lot of different fruit coming together. Grapefruit and tangerine and the darker citrus, some orange rind, meeting a tropical thing. You've got some melon, you've got a lot of raspberry and maybe even some blackberry. You have some apple, all of that on the fruit bouquet. There's just a lot happening there. And then IPA wise, it doesn't have a lot of bite. There's nothing really piney about it. Maybe a slight like hop oil quality to it, but it definitely, the mouthfeel is, it's tart. It's not puckeringly tart. It's not extreme. I mean, this is a kettle soured beer, but it's not as tart as some of those can be. It's definitely drinkable. It's 6.1% ABV, so it's definitely a pretty light drinker. Back end, it leaves you with that lingering bouquet of fruit. I think it's definitely one that if you're a sour drinker will please you. And if you're not a sour drinker, I think it's one you could do and get behind with your sour friends, because it's got the sour qualities. It definitely has the zinginess, and it definitely is, there's no hop bite to it. It's definitely a different drinking experience, but it's not overly sour. And it also has enough kind of variations happening in the different hops that are in there and the different fruits that you get on the mouth to keep you
is it
engaged.
More of an IPA than a sour, or more of a sour than an IPA?
No, I would say it's more of a sour than an IPA, just because it is tart enough, and it is definitely not. There's just not a lot of hop bite to it. It's just like if you took the mouthfeel of a sour and then added some of the flavors of a more juicy New Englandy IPA. And it's those two things happening at once. So flavor wise, you're not getting, like, sometimes a sour can be like a raspberry or a strawberry or a lemon, and it's so fruity that when you drink it, it's like you don't even feel like you're in beer world. This, I feel like the flavors on their own take the mouthfeel out of it. Drink like beer.
Yeah.
Like an IPA. And then you add the mouthfeel of a sour. Now, if you're someone who is like, I only like Dogfish Head 60 Minute, that's it, then I don't think you're going to like this, because it is going to be more on the sour side. But if you're open to it, this is one of the more soft sours. It's very well balanced, and it shows, I mean, not to say anything about Martin House Brewing, which collabed on the last beer, but I do think that this beer is a testament to the expertise of a brewery like WeldWorks, which is a very well-established IPA brewery in Colorado, coming together with Urban South, which is obviously, grown into quite a company themselves. I think it shows some experimentation along with expertise to make a beer like this, and I enjoy it very much. But again, do not drink this and the Michelada back to back.
God, no. Yeah.
You're going to need to wash the mouth out a little first.
Yeah, that would be rough.
But it's good. I like it.
Great. Well, you like one of them.
And the other one I will muscle through.
There we go. All right. I'm going to round us out. Remember last episode when I said I really wanted a triple? Well, the universe said, got you, fam. Here we are. I've got the Strongman Triple IPA. Kind of hard to see with the green screen, but it's a Strongman with a handlebar mustache lifting a weight. Okay. It's a triple IPA. The brewery calls it 8.1%. We've seen other triples be higher. It looks like a triple. It certainly smells like a triple when I poured it and I got the first whiff. But I'm pretty sure in order for it to be a triple, it's got to be 9 or higher, 8.7 or higher.
I'll vet what the exact rules are, because we can look this up. But while we're on the subject, we have a couple of notes. Urban South. I have never in my life seen a beer can that doesn't include both the name of the beer, because this doesn't have it on. Like these beers are named, right? My beers are Fire Eater and Snake Charmer, right? All that's on here is a picture, and it says Fruited Sour IPA. It doesn't say Snake Charmer anywhere. So that's one note. The other one is the ABV. I've never seen a beer can that doesn't have it. I've read this beer can over and over. I read the government warning. I read the Surgeon General stuff, and I cannot find the ABV.
It's
is just
a mystery.
Not on these. It's just.
It keeps you on your toes. I get it. Yeah. I read a couple reviews and they all said 8.1. And then I read one reviewer that said 11. And I was like, oh, see, now we're talking. But I think he might have been wrong because everyone else said 8.1. So that is where we're at based off of the research we did. 8.1%, no IBUs. Beer Advocate does not have a rating. Untapped gave it a 3.88. On the SRM chart, it is very dark yellow. It is very hazy and cloudy. Cannot see through. Classic Tripa. Finally, we have another Tripa. It looks very dark. It looks like very dark pineapple juice. I guess I would put it between an 8 and a 10-ish, just going off of the color. This was brewed with Unbranded Brewing Company. They are out of Hialeah, Florida, another great brewery. The quotes are, we got together with our rancher friends at Unbranded to bring you a strong triple IPA brewed with Mosaic, El Dorado, and Galaxy hops. Is Michael Breen in the building?
Michael Breen is always in the building for you.
Exclamation point!
Y'all know I love the Galaxy hops. It is great. Brewed with Mosaic, El Dorado, and Galaxy hops to carry the weight of this aromatic beer. And then another quote I read was, who wouldn't want to be the Strongman? He's one of the coolest and most realistic attractions at an old world carnival, says Joe Nelson, head brewer at Unbranded. When we decided on a triple IPA, the Strongman in the IPA world, we agreed it was the perfect name for our anniversary collection. I am very excited. Like I said, last episode, I was like, we have to do triples. And here we go.
Yeah, 8.1%. So to be clear, I've vetted it. And the simple fact is that the American Brewers Association does not have a category for triple IPAs. So really, they don't have much to say about it. I will say, though, that the typical double IPA, the American double IPA or Imperial IPA, is around 8%, a little higher, a little lower. When you get into triple, you're usually looking at like 10%.
Yeah.
I
don't know. There's a strong chance it is 11, and I'm about to be very surprised.
A very different night. Yeah. So, I mean, it's take it for what you will, but either way, whether it's a double or a triple, I bet it's going to be delicious.
Yeah. It smells like a classic triple. We knew you, as you guys may or may not know, our good friends over at White Lion Brewing Co. have an amazing triple, and it's very similar with the smell. It's sweet, it's citrus, it's like candy almost. It's like very sweet, but it's hoppy. Like you can smell like, ooh, it's gonna be trouble in River City. It smells like it would be a fun little hoppy punch, and I'm just gonna get right into it and see what the hell happens.
Yeah, the reason we love triple IPAs, especially hazy triple IPAs, is because they take that ultra juiciness and they turn it into something that's like almost candied and delicious. It's so good. And Gabe referencing the White Lion one. I don't even remember if we drank that on the show or not, but we've had other ones on the show, such as the one out of, was it Armada Brewing that had one that we did on the show? The Immortal
I forgot
Prince.
about them. They're great.
Round 74. So, I mean, these are just, it's a beer set. Like, I literally have one of those White Lions in my fridge that I bought a long time ago. Probably should get to drinking it, but it's just like, it's an experience. It's so good. So hopefully you're living in that world right now.
You know what world I'm living in, Stephen?
I don't, but I would love to know.
I'm at the circus.
Oh, she's got to come back again. Where is she? Oh, yes.
The best part of you playing drops is like, I feel like they always just get shuffled for you. You're always like, oh, where is it? Oh, God.
There's a lot in the soundboard. It's a lot to keep track of, and there's pages.
I get it. I'm at the circus, and I feel like a strong man. This is very delicious. This is a triple. However, I think they're right. I think this is 8.1 because I've had other triples that I take a sip and I'm like, oh boy, I'm in for it. I gotta go slow. This one, it's so weird. It's got the texture, flavor, and drinkability of a normal triple, but it's got the strength of an 8.1% beer. Like if I took a sip out of this and then you told me that's 8.1, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense, which is so interesting. I don't think it's stronger than that at all. I think this is 100% correct. However, it is very good. It does have a nice hoppy punch to it, but it's sweet. It's candy-like. It's citrusy. It's maybe I'm getting. I drank some water in between each of my beers, but I am getting a little bit of raspberry. That might be from the other beer, but it's very good. It's very fun. It's made with one of my favorite hops, Galaxy hops. I don't know why. I just love them so much. They just bring out this kind of flavor profile in the beer. And this is superb. I feel like I could be this strong man right here.
Yeah, that's what we love to hear. I got to be honest. And again, I didn't have a say in the beers that were bought or sent. But when I saw that you were drinking a triple IPA, and you sent me a Michelada beer, I was furious at you. No, I'm just kidding. But I am very jealous. I wish I had one.
I will say, I was like, I bought four that I thought sounded cool. And before I even flew back home, I was like, well, I'm doing a triple. Like, sorry. I know.
I don't blame you.
You know what I should have done? I should have sent you one of the ones you have, and then we both do the triple. I should have.
It worked out exactly the way it was supposed to, and I don't blame you. But I was very jealous in the moment. The reason I've got the Houston location behind me is because my beers specifically I know came out of that location, and I just wanted to throw out there that they're specifically built as a research and development branch, and they're apparently known, according to the interwebs, for their avant-garde flavors from strawberry Nesquik and Starburst gummy to cheeseburger and Detroit style Mexican pizza. So
wow,
they do the weird. You want the weird? Go to Houston because you can get it there.
Let's go to New Orleans. We'll make a pit stop in Houston or other way around, and then we'll come back home.
That's so doable. We could definitely do that.
I would
vacation.
I feel like it's easier for me to get to New Orleans, and it would be easier for you to get to Houston. Maybe we could switch or something. I don't know.
I can't even explain how much we have to move on. We need to do the fastest Can Arts and Crafts segment of all time. So do your stretches. Are you ready?
I hope so.
Is Bob ready? No, because we left him behind.
Bob Ross had the week off.
Bob is on vacation.
Yeah.
And 3, 2, 1, go.
Can Art and Crafts.
Yeah, Bob Ross had some PTO and he's using it, but he doesn't need to be here because, spoiler alert, these beers are in the club. They're just already in the club. 10 out of 10. There's no way they're not. If you've been watching this whole time, you know how dope they are. Each one has a circus performer, a different circus performer with big, bright, like, colors behind it. It looks like there's like light shining out from within the performer. We're performers, so that gives you extra points. They're all amazing. They all have the same theme, just with different cartoonish looking characters in front of them. I've got a clown, I got a strongman, Steven's got a fire breather, and a snake charmer lady. They're all dope. They are all amazing. We don't have a lot of time. We don't need a lot of time. They're in the club. Bob Ross is somewhere in our hearts. And yeah, that's another great addition to Can Arts and Crafts, baby.
Well done. That was fast. That was wild.
Hey, I do what I can.
You can get this beer in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida. Essentially, you can get it in the South.
Yeah. Think the South and then go there.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it is. But they have won awards. They have a lot. So in terms of what they have on tap, they have their year-rounders. They have a lot of like normal stuff. I mean, we're doing some crazy stuff, but they have a lot of, IPAs and lagers and, your basic, a stout, a golden ale, different stuff like that. They do have a heavy seltzer line, a real big focus on their own hard seltzer. It's called the Paradise Park brand. And it's...
So the Paradise Park brand at the New Orleans location, there's like flamingos on the can. That was kind of like the marketing strategy. That's why in the corner they have an old-fashioned trailer and like blow up flamingos and you can like take a photo. It's like a tourist attraction in a way. But yeah, the Paradise Park is one of their best sellers, one of their go-tos. I had a few other beers. The Holy Roller Hazy Juicy IPA is an OG flagship classic. Everyone and their brother got it. Every Uber driver we had in New Orleans when we talked about Urban South was like, oh yeah, Holy Roller. Like, it was kind of insane. Like, all of them were like, oh yeah, I love that beer. So it checks out.
Another thing I want to mention, I feel like I'm just giving them notes. Not even notes. I just like this. Their website, it has the beers and it lists like what states those beers are available in. But it just says... It just has the states listed with like a picture of the state. And like, here's the thing. All those states down there, not Louisiana, that looks like a boot. Tennessee, I get it.
If you suck at geography, you're never going to know where it's available.
Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, these all look the same. It's like the same as like Colorado, New Mexico, like those all look the same. I can't tell them apart. I know what California looks like. I know
the thin horizontal one's got to be Tennessee.
That's Tennessee, but the other ones, I mean, I have a map in front of me.
Alabama's the reddish one with the tail on the left side, right?
Yeah, that's Alabama, and the other one's Mississippi. But they're just they look exactly alike. You might want to just throw some state
abbreviations,
symbols. Yeah, whatever, small thing. The brewery's dope. We love a brewery that can be experimental and also honor form at the same time. This Michelada isn't for me, but that doesn't mean that it's not an interesting beer that someone wouldn't enjoy. And I think...
Well, Stephen, if that beer isn't for you, we're both going to be on the East Coast together very soon. So maybe we can split another beer I have that I couldn't say no to. This is just an honorable mention beer. I'm not cracking it on the show, but this is the Po' Boy Fest Amber Lager. It is another popular one that I would be happy to split with you because, well, I owe it to you after blowing it with the Michelob one. But this is another dope one. I've held on to it for a while, and I've been waiting to open it. I've been waiting until we did this episode, but since we're both going to be in the same location, we'll do this together, and I will raise a glass with you, my friend.
Love it. Check it out on the socials. We'll put something on X. All right. It feels gross when you say it. One last thing before we get out of here.
Last call.
Look, you may have seen this by now. It's okay. We're still going to talk about it because it's absurd. A YouTuber turned himself into a dog He spent $14,000 doing it. It's insane. And we're going to talk about it now. This is a guy who's based in Tokyo. He goes by the name Toko because, of course, he does. And he spent upwards of $14,000 on a custom costume that he had made to make him look like a collie. Dog. The dog. He posted this to his channels on July 21st, and he was filmed. I guess this happened like a year ago, but he posted the videos recently or something like that. He was interviewed by a German TV station, and basically he's like out. It's really disturbing if you watch the video because like the costume, I don't know. He spent 14 grand on it. It's elaborate, but I mean, like he looks like a guy on all fours. Like it's like a man in a costume, and he's enormous. And you know, it's a nice looking
$14,000.
It's like the video. If you watch it, they like wheel him out first of all on like bed, like a Home Depot cart. You know, it's like a big long, and they wheel him out there, and then he like gets off in the park, and there's like all these people watching. They're probably just like, "What the fuck is happening?" There's a film crew following him, and then like actual dogs will come up to him because they're like, what's happening here? The dogs, I mean, it's a man. Picture a man. They're bigger than dogs, generally speaking. This guy's in a dog suit, so it's like a giant mutant dog. And then these little dogs are running up to him and they're like, what the fuck? And then they immediately run away because it's bizarre. But a nice costume.
Okay, so a couple thoughts. First off, the article is quite amazing. The headline is, "He might not be saving children from wells, but this man's resemblance to Lassie is uncanny." Well, maybe. We'll see. I don't really know about that. And then this guy has a couple quotes. "I rarely tell my friends because I am afraid they will think I am weird." Check. "My friends and family seemed very surprised to learn I became an animal." Does this mean that he made a costume, he wants to be a dog, he is an animal? Does this mean he's a furry?
I think
it might.
I think I think furries want to do other things with animals. I don't think they want to be them. I might be wrong. But
no judgment, but
none at all. We don't kink shame.
What? $14,000. You have $14,000 lying around to just be like, you know what? I'm gonna be a collie. Go make me a collie.
It's utterly absurd. I mean, the article is coming from E! News, but it's been everywhere. It's on social media and whatnot. I mean, they talk about it as if he's like revealing his true identity. Toko has felt he's had to hide his true self from his friends. Quote, "I don't want my hobbies to be known, especially by the people I work with. They think it's weird that I want to be a dog." Yes, it is weird. Because you want to be a dog. It's like, were we talking about this on the mics or off? I can't even keep track anymore, but I was telling Gabe recently about it. I watched the Grizzly Man documentary recently. Old documentary from a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. This was off the mics, yeah.
Where there was a guy who lived with grizzly bears for all summer in Yellowstone because he wanted to be a bear. And I was like, my guy, you're not a bear. I don't know what to tell you. Some things are simply not up for self-identification. You're not a dog, brosif.
Well, he writes, "I remember writing in my grade school graduation book that I wanted to be a dog and walk outside." So this man wants to be a dog. And you know what? Dogs are better than people. So I don't know why we're really fighting him on this. I guess it's principles-wise, but I'm not going to say I get it. I'm not going to say I understand. I'm not going to judge you. I'm just going to sit here, look at the facts, and go, okay.
I guess I take issue with first. The costume was designed by a company called Zeppet. They apparently took 40 days to make it, and their website just says at the request of a customer, we made a model of a dog suit, and that they did. But I think this is where my issue is. The website says he transformed into a dog, and the facts are no, he didn't. He put a costume
He's just
on.
in a costume. Yeah. I thought there was like a little bit of science behind this in terms of like a surgery or some sort of experiment gone wrong. So I was like, definitely like, what the hell? And then I saw costume and I was like, oh, my question is, does he sleep in it? Has he gotten out yet?
He's not very good at being a dog, I must say, because if you watch the video, like he's got some movements to figure out. It just looks like a man. He like
bow wow.
They're like he performs dog-like movements and they're like roll over, and it just looks like a guy tipping over. It doesn't look like a dog rolling over at all. It's very bizarre.
He's not really doing much.
The internet, man.
Oh yeah. The other dogs are like looking at him like, dude, what is this?
Oh, the things you can think. And that's true of this beer I'm drinking and what people are doing on the internet. See, everybody
But like it doesn't even like you can clearly tell that's a costume. Like it's not even like close.
That's what I'm saying. He did not transform. He simply is. It's just a misnomer. Like if you're going there, go there. Have some surgery, get some fur on your face, then we'll talk. Then you might be a dog.
He needs to get bitten by like a radioactive dog.
Spider-Man situation.
Spider-Man situation.
I like it.
Exactly.
I like where you're going.
Then there would be no question, and he could like go in and out of it. But this, he's waving like a human. Dogs can't do that.
You can't do that.
This is absurd, and I'm upset.
Toko, we're mad at you.
Toko, 14 grand. Can you send me?
Okay, we have to go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
I don't want to.
Urban South Brewery out of NOLA and Houston, Texas. Thank you. It's been great. It's been fun. You've made an impression. We will be back. And to our valued listeners, we will also be back with you in 2 weeks. Until then, drink good beer. Tell us about it. Stay in touch. See you on X.
Thank you guys so much. Who dat?
Who dat?